And we are live.
Wait a minute. That's
Tesla
not Pod
Cam.
Feet. It's Santa Tesla.
Tesla. Oh, yep. It's anarchy. We've already had one audio failure tonight, so it should be a lot of fun, I'm thinking. Oh, no. Sandy couldn't see her.
Oh, why not?
What
Maybe you're
happened,
delayed.
Sandy?
There's a little delay. Yeah, Pod Feet is live.
Yet,
You might want to do a refresh, Sandy.
What's exactly 5? Yay. All right. Well, I am going to start. Oh, there she sees her. Okay,
good.
Goodness. Okay, now I've got a dog with her head in my lap. This is great. Oh, Frank says to keep with the trend, my moniker is now Wheels Plus. That's awesome.
Good job, Frank.
All right. So in roll call, we've got Alan and Dave and Jason and Frank and Jill and John and Rick and Sandy and Steve and Michael. And we've got Rose and Wheels Plus and Lindsay the daughter. And we have good news. The wingman is home.
Wingman is home.
Didn't sleep great the first night, so he's going to probably not be here tonight. But I think we might see him back next week. So he's home. Yay! Finally got out of the hospital. Everybody's excited. Hey, Tessa.
I think Sandy wants to see her
I would
again.
like less dog.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Tessa.
I want less dog.
Tesla.
Oh, the door's closed. Hang on.
Lack of opposable thumbs. Wingman is home. Yes, Linz. Come here, Tess. All right. Sandy wants another peek at you. Okay.
Oh,
Give her
that's
your best
good.
smile. Show off your outfit here. Come on.
You know what I don't understand is why these headphones haven't broken yet. The number of times I have yanked them out.
Yep.
Can you still hear me?
Yep.
All right.
Can you
we'll
hear
see
me?
how long I can keep on these dog antlers, dog Christmas antlers. More dog.
Your right antler's drooping a bit.
This one?
Yeah, it's a little low. There we go.
Okay.
A little floppy.
Wouldn't want to look stupid. All right. Does everybody have a glass of holiday cheer? Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas,
Cheers.
Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Oh, I shouldn't do that. I just spilled wine on my desk. Shaking my head.
Oh, boy.
Oh, this is going to be a good show. Good show, I think. Hang on. Let me finish mopping up the wine.
So do you want to give them a heads up? It's going to be a little bit shorter tonight?
Yeah, we probably aren't going to go long. Well, unless everything crashes and burns, which is always possible.
True.
We would like to go outside and see Saturn and Jupiter are going to be the closest they've ever been in how many years? 800 years, something like that?
400. And technically it's tomorrow night that they're the closest, but tonight they're pretty close.
Pretty close. So, and
Very
about
close.
an hour after sunset is the best time in the southwestern sky. I'm not sure what that means to Rose. That means the day after tomorrow in the northeastern sky?
Yeah, I don't think it's the southwestern sky for her. I'm not sure if it must be the northwestern, but it's tomorrow for her. So, so look tomorrow night or tonight for you, Rose. Look in probably your northwestern sky.
Yeah, I wonder. Wherever the app says that they are. Lindsay gave us an app that we can check. So,
yeah, you can check online.
All right, I think we should get started.
Agreed.
So I am going to start recording here now. Here we go. Muting Steve. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, December 20th, 2020, and this is the holiday show number 815. Well, for the last month or so, BART's RSS feeds for security bits have been unusually light, and we've had quite short bits with nothing good to chew on. That changed this week with the SolarWinds breach. But we also wanted to talk about Facebook trying to kick up a kerfuffle about Apple's tracking transparency changes. We had a third security medium planned, but we decided to record it today, and we're going to play that one next week because it's kind of evergreen. And that one's going to be all about the new Oblivious DNS over HTTPS, or ODO. I think it's a joke on Star Trek. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, I had, of course, prepared some content for the show as well. So this is going to be a great episode. I actually moved one piece. I think I'm going to do it in 2 weeks. It's a big configuration thing going on here, because I also put out the call in our Slack and Facebook communities and that I'd really like to relax for Christmas week. And I am just so happy so many people did recordings already that I have a full show already for next week, and I'm not going to have to do a lick of work during the holiday. In fact, there are 2 recordings that will go into the following week in January, so I definitely have a proper little holiday. With that, let's kick into the show. All right. Pressing down all the... Wait, let's... Oh, nope. I'm saving first. And see, yep, that's not what I thought I was doing. I thought I was doing this. Okay, here we go. We're going to do a mic price here. And, oh, wait, no, I got to be here first. Got to be here first. There we go. There we go. Right click, copy link, copy, watch the magic happen. Bing, 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 bing. There we go. Thank you, Rick. Okay, Rick's in charge. Good to know. Good to know. All right. Let me look at security bits here for a quick second. No, not security bits. What are you talking about? I need to look at chit chat. Here we go. All right, here we go. Saving too. Well, this week's Chit Chat Across the Pond was another installment of Programming by Stealth, where Bart Busschots continues on his series with his series within a series, explaining the version control system Git. I'm going to do that again. Yeah.
I don't see your blog post for tonight's show.
I probably should have posted that for you. Let me push that up while I do this. I forgot to do that. All right, while that's going up, let me go back to...
There it is. Got it.
There we go. All right. This week's Chit Chat Across the Pond is another installment of Programming by Stealth. In this installment, Bart Busschots continues on his series within a series, explaining the version control system Git. We advance in our branching strategy by working several commits on our dev branch, and then we learn to use a merge commit to bring only the final commit into the main branch. That leaves the half-working intermediate commits only existing on the dev branch. This process illustrates the need to learn about tags, both lightweight and annotated. Once we understand how these tags work and their importance, we evolve our PBS branching strategy one step further. You can, of course, check out the link in the show notes to Bart's fabulous tutorial show notes, and you can sign up to subscribe to Programming by Stealth in your podcatcher of choice. The wine started early. Oh, yeah, it always starts early on podcast night.
In the blog post, there are some funny characters, I think, formatting characters.
That's a poor... Enter, yeah. Okay. It's just the carriage. I missed a carriage return. All right. We are now going to hear from Stephen P.
Who?
Stephen P. Should I introduce it or just cue up your thing?
Cue it up.
I don't think we said the same thing.
I have a little intro. That's probably good enough.
Okay. Copy link. There we go. All right. So I am going to go find Steve. So I want the intro first. And then after that, I'm just going to run them one right into the other. But we're going to listen to these. Let me see how that's going to fit. I'm doing brain surgery here. 1 second to chop off the end of that one. And move this one up. Okay, I'll have to play around with the transition, so don't give me any flack just yet. You subscribe to Programming by Stealth in your podcatcher of choice.
Since Christmas will soon be here, I thought it would be a good time to resurrect.
You didn't introduce yourself, so I do need to cue you up.
Yeah, that's a fail.
Okay. It's time for an annual holiday tradition from Steve. How's that?
I think that does the job.
By Stealth in your podcatcher of choice. It's time for an annual holiday tradition from Steve.
Since Christmas will soon be here, I thought it would be a good time to resurrect the poem that has become a holiday tradition on the NosillaCast. In 2019, we lost our beloved Honda Bob, a longtime Nosilla castaway and contributor to the show and a very dear friend. But his memory and the silliness he inspired in the Nosilla castaways will live on. So grab a hot beverage and some cookies, sit back, relax, and enjoy a slightly modified version of The Night Before Christmas, dedicated to Honda Bob. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a trackpad. Okay, work with me here. The earbuds were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that all things eye-maker soon would be there. The Nosilla castaways were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of iPads danced in their heads. And Podfeet in her kerchief and I in my cravat had just settled down for a long winter Skype chat. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the keyboard to see what was the matter. Away to the windows! I flew like a flash drive, tore open the shutters, and nearly did a nosedive. The moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave the luster of brushed aluminum to objects below, when what to my eyes seemed very bizarre, but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny cars. With a little old driver with whom elves hobnob, I knew in a moment it must be Honda Bob. More rapid than 4G his vehicles they came, and he tweeted and shouted and called them by name. Now Accord, now Civic, now Fit and CRV, on Element, on Ridgeline, on Pilot and Odyssey. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now drive away, drive away, drive away all. As dry leaves that before the reality distortion field endowed, when they meet with an obstacle mount to the cloud, so up to the housetop the vehicles they flew, with the sleigh full of Apple products, and Honda Bob too. And then in a twinkling, I heard with a squeal the skidding and sliding of each little wheel. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney Bob came with a bound. He was dressed in coveralls from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with oil and soot. A bundle of SSDs he had flung in his Scotty vest, and he looked like a geek who was extremely obsessed. A wink of his eye and a look not too pious soon gave me to know he had an Apple bias. He spoke not a word, but texted his concern, and he filled all the stockings and then hit return. And laying a finger aside his levitation app, a command to his iPad, up the chimney, ASAP. He sprang to his sleigh, and the autos did they bristle, and away they all flew as if shot from a missile. But I heard him exclaim, as the poem prescribed, Happy Christmas to all, and please stay subscribed.
Oh, that was nice, Steve. Oh, clicked in the wrong place. Wait, I want to give one other picture.
That's a great one of Bob.
Yeah, there's. This is my favorite. I think this was the same day.
Yeah. Oh, as the other one?
As the previous one. Lindsay's got on a white skirt, and he's like,
yeah,
hey,
Bob's going to give her a big hug. You know, I'm noticing this poem. You mentioned it holds up, and for the most part it does. I've already made one revision. When I wrote this, it was your your tagline was an ever so slight Macintosh bias, and you switched to Apple. So I did that in the poem. But now I've realized more rapid than 4G, his vehicles they came. I need to make that 5G. And also, I just want everyone to know, when I substituted some of these words to give it an Apple NosillaCast bias, the toughest sentence, the toughest phrase to get a rhyme out of this thing and have it fit within the poem was, where is it? As dry leaves that before the reality distortion field endowed, when they meet an obstacle mount to the cloud. That one took a little. That probably was the hardest rhyme of all of these.
Yeah, you could tell it was a few extra syllables there.
It's a stretch. But work with me.
It was very cute. All right, I'm gonna respond a little bit and then I'll keep going.
All right.
Actually, no, I got to respond a little bit first.
Happy Christmas to all, and please stay subscribed.
Steve, that was fantastic. I love this annual tradition that we play this. And in the live chat room, we were discussing the fact that a lot of it really still holds up. It's been played many, many years in a row. Steve did change my tagline at one point in the poem. But, you talk about iPads and things, everything is still there. I guess the one thing Steve noticed was he talks about 4G. Maybe he's got to do an update where he goes, actually, you could pause it and go 5G now or something. Anyway, it's a nice memory. And if you haven't ever heard any of Honda Bob's stuff, do a search on podfeet.com and you'll hear actual interviews with Bob where he did reviews for us. He was a great guy, and it's a fun Christmas memory for all of us. All right, and now I gotta go back to here. Preview. This is where I gotta go. So I'm gonna do basically one content thing here. That's too many. That should be a 4. There we go. All right. Back here. And I want to do this. I have a really good tip that I was gonna do that turned into it was kind of funny. I started writing a tip on a cool little trick in annotating screenshots using your trackpad on your mouse on the Mac, and the entire subject of the whole thing changed because I discovered something that was even cooler. So, Clefmeister.
Yeah, welcome, Clefmeister.
Oh, that's Butts. Oh shoot, what's your first name? I'm screwing up. Jeff Butts. Yeah.
Jeff.
Hi, Jeff, how you doing? Jeff is one of the people. He writes for TMO or works for TMO, writes for TMO, and he's going to be doing a review for us for 2 weeks from now. He's one of the people who is going to do that. So very cool. I told him TMO, we're like sister podcasts, really.
Certainly.
Dave would like me calling it a sister podcast. Right?
Yeah. Sibling.
No, sister. All right. Okay. Actually, since Jeff is new here, me forgetting your first name, I forgot Lindsay's first name once, and you'll notice that Lindsay's name is Lindsay the daughter. So
she confessed that she does that for me, as if I would forget.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Sandy, not iMore, TMO, the Mac Observer. It's okay to love it too. Yeah, Jeff, I am terrible with names. I'm absolutely terrible. Memory in general. All right, muting Steve. Here we go. I've mentioned a few times, maybe a few hundred times, that I'm a big fan of exercise. I got to tell you, though, I grew up in a family that had never exercised, and it wasn't until I began dating Steve that I was even introduced to the whole concept. I remember one day when we were in our early dating years, he said, "I think we should exercise. Let's start doing sit-ups and push-ups." Not having done them in a very long time, in that first sitting, he did 50 sit-ups and 50 push-ups, followed by 25 sit-ups and 25 push-ups. I did not do the same. Anyway, fast forward 40 years, and now I work out a lot. I still don't do sit ups, and I definitely don't do push ups, but I do get a great deal of exercise. In the before times, I ran on the beach every other day, and I worked out on the elliptical with Dorothy every other day, where we talked about programming. And then in the afternoons, I dragged Tesla, our dog, around my neighborhood for another hour of walkies. I don't go to the beach now, and I'm far too clumsy to run on the sidewalk in our neighborhood. I broke my hand the last time I tried it. Gotta understand what happens if you break your hand jogging. Somebody said I didn't break my hand jogging, I broke my hand falling, but that's nitpicking. Anyway, so all I do now is I walk and walk and walk. According to Workouts Plus Plus by David Smith, I've walked 5,279.86 miles since I got my Apple Watch. But you know what? I'm getting a little bit bored because I've pretty much mapped my entire neighborhood now. For quite a while, I tried marching up and down my stairs to simulate a stairmaster. Or I guess that's probably the other way around, right? But I gotta tell you, it's boring as all get out. I also can't stop focusing on the spot on the wall that I tried to fix with a bit of paint and it totally didn't match. Really bothers me that that didn't match. Anyway, it takes about 40 minutes for me to burn 200 calories on the Stairmaster when that same amount of time with Dorothy would have killed off 300 calories. Also, my knees started to hurt after doing my home Stairmaster. Lindsay suggested I try high-intensity interval training, or HIIT as it's called, and suggested a guy named Rainier Pollard on YouTube. I started doing it on the big screen and it was awesome. He's hilarious and the workouts were really hard. I'm not going to talk too much about the grossness of this, but my shoes were damp when I was done. I sweated so much. I really like HIIT because you do like 40 seconds of some insane exercise and then you get 20 seconds of rest. You can stand just about anything for 40 seconds if you know you get a rest. The only problem was that I started having back pain because of the plank type exercises he does. I don't know if you're noticing a theme here. I try something and then I start having pain. Maybe I'm just old. Anyway, when okay, nope, not going to do that. When Fitness Plus was announced, it came at just the right time to pique my interest. If I hadn't tried YouTube like Lindsay suggested, I don't think I would have been able to convince myself to try a TV-based exercise class. I gave Fitness Plus a try this week, and I really like what I've seen. Before you can use Fitness Plus, you need to update every Apple product you own. Apple TV, iPad, iPhone, Apple Watch, you got to do them all. As Ken Ray would call it, it's update a go-go. All right, you probably don't have to do all of them, but the watch and whatever device you plan on using to watch the trainer have to be updated. The service is really crying out to be on the big screen, so the Apple TV is the ideal tool for the job. But in the future, when we can travel, I can see running Fitness Plus on an iPad in a hotel room. Or if I'm in a hotel room, I can see going down to the hotel bar instead of exercising, but that's not important right now. When the iPad is updated, you can now go to the App Store and download the app Activity. When the Apple TV is updated, the Activity app is automatically added to your home screen. The iPhone already had the Activity app, but after the update, it will have a tab for Fitness Plus. Now, I started by using the Activity app on Apple TV, so I'll be kind of talking from that experience. All right, enough fooling around. Let's get exercising. When you launch the Activity app, you will be asked to select your Apple Watch on the big screen. Now, I assume the list I saw, which was my watch and Steve's, was the list of Apple Watches currently on the same Wi-Fi as the Apple TV. I wonder if this list might get a little cluttered if you're on shared hotel Wi-Fi and you're not using a VPN. But if you're listening to this show, I'm sure you'd be using a VPN, so it wouldn't be a problem. After you choose your watch, you'll see thumbnails of different types of workouts. You'll have the option of HIIT, yoga, core, strength, treadmill, cycling, rowing, dance, and mindful cool down. We'll come to that last one at the very end. I chose HIIT because I love HIIT now, and on the left sidebar I had 3 ways to find a workout. All trainers, all durations, or all music. Yeah, no, I wasn't going to pick my training by music. Since I don't know the trainers yet, and obviously I wasn't going to choose my workout by the music, I chose all durations. This provided 26 thumbnails representing different HIIT workouts. Once inside all durations, I now had the option to narrow down my search by duration. I chose the longest possible option, which is 30 minutes. If you select the different workouts, you'll be provided a very short but useful description of the workout. It'll tell you a smidge about what you'll be doing and also if any equipment will be needed. For example, some of the HIIT classes require dumbbells, and when I did the testing, Steve was using our dumbbells, so I needed one that didn't. I chose a 30-minute HIIT workout with Jamie Ray, which said we'd be doing the same 7 moves 3 times with a few easy moves thrown in between rounds. The equipment needed was a mat, but I used a towel because I'm a cheater. Also, I don't own a yoga mat. I haven't figured out what they're for yet. It was immediately evident to me why Fitness Plus is so much better than watching a YouTube video. In the upper left of the screen, I had constant access to my own workout metrics because the app is connected to the Apple Watch. I was able to constantly see my own heart rate and how many calories I had burned. Not only could I see my own metrics, but there were also 2 clocks. One was the entire class length, so you could see how much more misery you had to go. The second was a clock for the move we were doing. Now remember, I said that HIIT is a 40-second interval of workout followed by a 20-second rest interval. When Jamie Ray told us to start a move, the clock would reset to 40 seconds and likewise 20 seconds counting down during that delightful rest period. I'm rather fond of those 20 seconds. I do have to say, when you're watching a YouTube video, a lot of times they'll say, okay, we're going to do this for 40 seconds. And then you don't know where you are in those 40 seconds. All of a sudden they go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But I like to know how long I have to go. Now, the whole idea of HIIT is to get your heart rate up, and this workout did not disappoint. A few times I was hitting 160 beats per minute, which was higher than I'm really comfortable letting it go. Your peak heart rate is supposed to be 220 minus your age, which for me at 62 would be 158 beats per minute. So I was really at that limit. Now, there was a right way to slow my heart rate down, which didn't occur to me till later. The nice thing about these workouts, and the ones I've done on YouTube, is they show 2 people working out behind the main trainer. One of them is doing a modified version of the exercise. So if the trainer is leaping in the air in a move, the modified trainer might be going up and down on their toes instead. And this is great for people with knee issues, so you've got a modified person you can follow if the main person's doing crazy moves. Now, what I should have done when my heart rate got too high was do the modified workout for a bit, but I tried something else. We'd just done a tough move that had my heart just beating out of my chest, and we'd finished with the rest 20 seconds, but it was still beating too fast. Jamie Ray had already started to move on with this new move, so he'd started another 40 seconds. I grabbed the remote and I paused the workout and I, paced around a bit until my heart rate came down a little bit. This worked, but it had taken me about 9 seconds to get the video paused from the beginning. So now Jamie Ray only had 31 more seconds left on the clock for that move. I wanted to do the full 40 seconds, but to my chagrin, I discovered that you can't rewind a workout, at least on Apple TV. I think this is a little bit of a miss for Apple. Maybe they did it on purpose, but here's another use case where I'd like to be able to pause and rewind. With a new workout, it's sometimes difficult to figure out a new move. Maybe you have one of those dancer-trained brains that can simply observe a move once and immediately replicate it beautifully, but it can take me 2 or 3 times before I can figure out that my left arm's supposed to be going forward when my right leg goes back. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm not the only person who would like to be able to rewind and rewatch a move. When my heart was pounding away at one point, I noticed that the big screen was showing my pounding heart. Now, I understand technically how Apple is pulling my workout data from my watch and throwing it up to the big screen. But it was very weird to be feeling my heart beating and seeing it beating on screen perfectly in sync. I mentioned this to my daughter Lindsay, and she asked a great question. How is it measuring it and getting it up to the screen in perfect synchronization? Probably, through the cloud at some point too, maybe? I don't know. But how is it getting in perfect synchronization? I realized perhaps it's one entire beat off, or maybe even 5 beats off, or perhaps it's showing the downbeat when I'm experiencing the upbeat. In any case, it looks like it's perfectly in sync, and that's really cool. Now, we all know that Apple's never had a successful social environment for their services, and so far, it doesn't appear that they're trying to do that with Fitness Plus. But they did add a way for you to get a bit of a competitive aspect, and it's called the burn bar. While you're working out, along with the clock and your own workout metrics for calories burned and heart rate, there's a horizontal pink line with a little icon of the type of exercise you're doing inside it. They call this the burn bar. You remember those drawings they'd show you when you were a little kid of like a snake that had eaten an egg and there was this big bulge in the snake and you could see the chick inside of the egg? It's kind of like that. I know this is gross imagery, but I bet you can picture the burn bar now. The burn bar shows your effort compared to others who've done this workout. When you finish your very first workout, you'll see an explanation that if the burn bar is on, your data is anonymously becoming part of it. They also tell you that this first workout will not be sent because you haven't yet consented to have your anonymous data sent. I chose to leave the burn bar on because this seems really fun. When I was sweating my way through Jamie Ray's torture session and my heart was about to break loose, I noticed that the little hit egg in the snake was way close to the far right, and it said I was ahead of the pack. When I finished the workout, there was a cool screen that showed all of the metrics, including my burn bar results. I burned 212 active calories in 32 minutes with an average heart rate of 143 beats per minute. That put me in the middle of the pack for the burn bar results. I was kind of excited before it said I was at the head of the pack. But then I thought about it. Being in the middle of the pack, is that good or is that bad? And we all want to be at the front of the pack, right? But when I look at that jerk that got 278 calories from this workout and was the head of the pack, is total calorie burn necessarily a good metric? It could be that the jerk is super out of shape, so their heart rate was really high because they're carrying a lot of extra weight, and maybe they don't have any muscle built up yet. Or it could be because they're 27 years old and they're allowed to have a peak heart rate of 193 beats per minute without expiring like I would. It's hard to tell whether you should chase the head of the pack or not. Now, in the classes I've taken on YouTube with Rainier, he always did a cool down at the end. So I was quite surprised when Jamie Ray basically said, "See ya," after the last move. He did suggest we go find what they call a mindful cool down class. My first impression of the mindful cool down was that the description sounded all touchy-feely with meditation and stuff. I've never been into that kind of thing, but I gave Dustin's mindful cool down a try. I'm going to put it out right here. I'm in love with Dustin's mindful cool down. It was awesome. I'm not going to lie, one of my favorite parts of the cool down was that I got exercise credit for doing it in the Fitness Plus app. Sitting on the floor for 10 minutes on my mat substitute old towel, I got 46 active calories credit on my watch. I know that because, again, I got the metrics at the end of the mindful cooldown. I do think I deserved the credit, though, because it showed that my average heart rate was 116 beats per minute. I clearly needed that cooldown. But I also love Justin's cooldown because he showed some ways to stretch the hips that I'd never seen before, and he said they were especially good moves if you find yourself sitting in a chair for extended periods. What nerd doesn't sit in their chair too long? This could come in really handy. I don't know if all of the mindful cooldowns are as good as Dustin's, but I am now a big fan. After I wrote this up, I went back and I tried some yoga because a lot of people are talking about yoga, and I didn't really take to it, and mostly it was because I didn't get hardly any calorie burn. I did a 20-minute yoga workout, and I burned 46 calories. That is not worth the time. I didn't feel more flexible. I didn't feel stronger. I didn't feel mindful or any of that. And plus, you know what? During the yoga, they play music the whole time. So I'm trying to hear this person explaining to me what a mountain pose is or downward dog or some cobra or something, and they're playing music over it, so I can't listen to two things at once. Anyway, I don't think yoga is for me. But I tell you what, if you've been wanting to get more exercise, but you don't know where to start with classes like these, Apple has an absolute beginner series. In these 7 videos, you can learn the basics of workouts like HIIT, yoga, strength training, and more. I did do the beginner series on yoga, and that's, I think it'd be good for everybody else. Maybe not the class that I needed to take. The bottom line is that I had high hopes for Fitness Plus, and Apple truly exceeded them for me. I hope you'll consider getting moving and using Fitness Plus to break the monotony of whatever exercises you've been doing. I'm definitely going to keep at it because my bottom line is really sore from doing Jamie Ray's torture class, and that is my main measure of a successful workout.
Your bottom line, huh? By the way,
was clever. Did you see what I did there?
You did. Someone has joined us who you might recall.
Who?
Take a peek.
Siri. Shut up. Who?
Wingman. He's in the house.
Kevin's
in the house.
Oh, yay. Hi, Kevin. Oh, my gosh. 130 messages while I was there.
Well, Kevin joined.
Okay. So it was a big party.
Yeah.
Yay. Dudley's. Wait, how did Dudley have a GIF that said Kevin?
Oh, Dudley has all the GIFs. Where is it?
Python who ate an elephant. That's what it was, Michael.
Yeah.
What is that from? Was that from The Little Prince? We have to sweat, Sandy says.
You're right. Little Prince. Good recall.
Very good. And I bought a copy of The Little Prince in French for Lindsay while we were in France.
In Paris, yes.
Yeah.
Hey, there he is.
All right.
Hey, Kevin.
Yay.
He's got his Macstock shirt on.
I think that's the only shirt he owns. Or maybe he just wears it for the show.
Yeah, he's showing the colors.
I know, I'm supposed to be nice to him, but you know what? He's feeling better. I don't have to be.
You
nice
lay into him as soon as he's back in the
Give
show,
him
in the
crap,
chat room.
right?
Wow.
All right. Well, we are actually, I am going to move us on to security bits because guess how long security bits is? An hour and 22 minutes.
Wow.
And I moved part of it to next week.
Okay, so 5:35. So you're going to play a little bit?
Yeah. Alan, nice.
So this is where he covers, did you say it was in two parts, right?
Next week, we're doing there were two Uh-oh. I've locked up Hindenburg. Hope I saved before I did that. There we go. Saved now.
If there was just someone who could remind you.
Yeah, so this has it's normal security bits, but it's got two security mediums, and then the third security medium we move to next week.
But does this one have the timely incident?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, he's got me peeking on this. This is interesting. Oh, no, what did I just do? Actually, no, I don't care about that. Yeah, so get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. He looks good on his record. Oh, wow. All right. I'm going to put that up there. Why are we talking over each other? All right, let me see.
Al, I'm not hearing playback. I'm not hearing Al. Is anyone hearing Allison? I think we lost her audio again. Yeah. Well, we got pretty far through the show this time. She's giving me the hold on just a moment. Allison who? Thanks, Mike. Good thing she's muted. Force quitting Discord. Okay, give it a shot. That helper, you're going to quit the little helper? Force quit? So while Allison is working that, let me just remind you, for those folks who may have missed the first part of the show, there is a conjunction or a near conjunction of two planets tonight, Jupiter and Saturn. If you haven't, technically it's not a conjunction because they get close, but they don't really cross over one another. Tomorrow night they will be there at their closest approach, about a tenth of a degree, I believe. Well, maybe a quarter of the moon's width or less. Tonight they will be pretty close, not quite that close, but if let's see, if you're on the East Coast, they may be setting pretty soon. West Coast, they will be setting in about an hour or two, so I still don't hear you, Al. So you'll have time on the West Coast for the next hour to see them very low in the southwest sky. And this hasn't happened. They have not gotten this close since about 400 years ago. So this is kind of a once in a lifetime or 2 or 6 event. If you want to check it out and you got clear skies, give it a try. Still no audio from Allison. She's going through her checklist. So bear with us, folks. You got this, Allison. Good one. Good one, Jason. I like that. Cloudy and yeah, I heard on the East Coast it's pretty overcast. It's clear here on the West Coast, at least in Southern California. So right after this, we're going to go check it out. First fail is at 4:37. The second at 5:37. Wow, 1 hour apart exactly. Interesting. So you've rebooted or restarted Discord, I take it, Allison. Yeah, I see you in the chat room, so you must be back. Ooh, I think she froze on me. She's probably restarting Mimo Live. So, folks watching the video, Allison will be rejoining the video here shortly. She's debugging an audio issue we have frequently where her audio, for some reason, just gives out across both Mimo Live, our recording tool, streaming tool for video, and Discord. So it's kind of maybe closer to the mic than the application. Kevin. Okay, we got your video back, Al. Still no audio. This is big in Virginia sausage. Yes. Nice, John. Perfect. Still no audio. Yeah. Can you hear us though, Al? Okay. She's still checking it, but I'm guessing she's gotten close to the end of her checklist here as to the things she can do. Oh, did you, Lindsay? Last night? Yeah. And tonight they'll be even closer, and tomorrow the closest. So interestingly, since I need to fill some space here, you're going to get a little more astronomy. I think the orbit of Saturn and Jupiter, I think the longest of the two is Saturn because it's farther out. And I believe it's 22 Earth years. And so Saturn and Jupiter, technically, you would think they would cross every 22 years or so. Jupiter, I think, is 8 years. But the problem is their orbits they're not on the same plane. They're slightly tilted. If they were on the same plane, we would see this event with Jupiter and Saturn. I think Allison froze again. We would see the event with Jupiter and Saturn coming close to each other, overlapping every 22 years. But since it's tilted, they have to go through many, many cycles before those two tilted orbits align and they appear at that point on the orbit. And that's the once every 400 years. That's why this one has taken so long. Yeah, John, we could invest, or even maybe something that's going to replace it. All right, so I think Allison might be rebooting Mimo Live again. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate you joining us.
This is interesting.
Oh, I just got your audio. Just got audio from, I don't know if it's Mimo or...
Hindi. Okay.
What? Do you hear me? Al, do you hear me?
So can
Al?
you guys hear me in...
I can hear you in Mimo. I'm not sure about Discord. Are you not hearing me? So now she can... we can hear her, but she can't hear us. No, I lost your audio. No audio. So whatever you did took away your audio. Yeah, it's not my audio is the issue, Alan. It's hers. And this has to do with our setup. You can't hear me, yeah. Oh, you hear me now? So did you hear? We did hear you for a moment, and then you went away. I'm not sure what you did there. Yes, I did. I'm not sure if it was Mimo or Discord that I heard you. This is how we're going to fill the rest of the hour. Oh, Kevin's got a little video here. I missed that. Let me check it out. Oh, yeah. Look at those. Very sparkly. Changing colors and everything. Nice. So whatever you did, Allison, we did hear you for a few seconds, maybe 5 or 10. But then we lost you again. Do you hear us now? Okay. Yeah, John, that might be. I heard you. I tried to get your attention, but I think you weren't looking at the video. It was about 10 minutes ago, 7 minutes ago. I'm not sure if you can't hear me, how I can give you feedback other than just kind of waving my arms. Yesterday. I could yell real loud across the room. Who narrated 'Twas the Night Before Christmas? That was me speaking. That was me with my little twist to the poem. Okay, since I need to vamp a little more, here's a little known fact. Let me look it up again because I don't want to be wrong on this. Hold on. So, I went back I wanted to give credit to whoever wrote The Night Before Christmas, the poem. And I went back and checked it out, and it turns out there's ambiguity as to who wrote the poem The Night Before Christmas. It's kind of weird, and Wikipedia has a fairly long discussion about it. So there are two people who have been credited. There's Clement Clark Moore, and then there's also Henry Livingston. And it's if you want to check it out, just go look at the Night Before Christmas credits, and you'll find the story about who wrote it. In fact, let me just Let me do a quick check here. Make sure I'm not too far off base. Stephen King did not write The Night Before Christmas. So the first line from Wikipedia, A Visit from St. Nicholas. Okay, that's the original poem name. So a poem is published anonymously in 1823 and later attributed to Clement Clarke Moore, who claimed authorship in 1837. So the fact that it was published anonymously causes some of this problem. And it wasn't until many, many years later that Clement Moore claimed authorship. However, where is the other reference? Oh, shoot. I hope I'm not wrong here. Oh, authorship controversy. There we go. Still not hearing you, Al. But Moore's connection with the poem's been questioned by Professor Donald Foster. Steve's never wrong, yes. Who used textual context analysis and external evidence to argue that Moore could not have been the author. Ooh, there's controversy here. So Foster, this professor, believes that Major Henry Livingston Jr., a New Yorker and a Dutch and Scottish, with Dutch and Scottish roots, should be considered the chief candidate for authorship, and a view long espoused by the Livingston family. Probably because this guy's last name is Livingston. Okay, so Allison is, I think, wrapping up the show. Let me mute so I don't bother.